Welcome to the series, Critical Thinking Skills in Science. This is Chapter 4, Building Our Own Philosophy, Session number 7. Again, we're following the construction of the house. We started with zero point, which was the culture, and then we went up to epistemology, which was choosing our source of reliable knowledge. Went from there to our metaphysics and went through our three divisions of metaphysics, the theology, ontology, and universal science. And now we're up into the epistemology section on methods used to extract a reliable knowledge from our source, from the world around us. So the first method that we touched on was rationalism, but as led by the Spirit of God. Now we're on to the second. My epistemology method employed. Number 2 is empiricism. Empiricism means human senses. That which is through the human senses can generate knowledge of the outside world, but as led by the Spirit of truth through revelation. Why is that? Well, because our senses do not capture all of reality. There is different, even in the world of animals. There are animals that have a perception that is much stronger and perceptive than anything we have. Either their eyesight or their smell or just their ability to detect movement. Empirically, they are much sharper than the human beings are in detecting through detecting reality and what exists through empirical methods. But there's also another section to it, is that since I believe in a spiritual dimension to life, that man empirically does not sense all that exists spiritually. And this is what in 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17 says, Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, please open his eyes that he may see. Yahweh opened the young man's eyes, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So in other words, there is a dimension that man cannot see but still exists. And so to limit reality based on what man can see or man can observe is to only detect a small portion of what is real. Another verse, instead of from the Old Testament, this is New Testament, Luke chapter 8, verse 10, says, He said, to you it is given to know the mysteries of God, of God's kingdom, but to the rest in parables, that seeing they may not see, and hearing they may not understand. Jesus was teaching spiritual truths that the normal man could not understand. Even though he saw, he didn't see. And even though he heard, he did not understand. And Jesus recognized that limitation of what man has. Isaiah 6, chapter 9. He said, go and tell this people, you hear indeed, but you don't understand. You see indeed, but you don't perceive. So again, just reinforced in that to trust and count on man's ability, whether it be reason or whether it be empiricism, observation, those factors are limited. Even among the creation itself, there's other creatures that have much better perception, eyesight and smelling. They do not have better reasoning Man has been gifted with a special ability to reason much more than any animal in the kingdom created by God. Here we have again the world, the lenses, the interpretation, which means, again, I am interpreting according to my theory, habit, prejudice, and culture, but as aided by the Spirit of truth. Stephen Jay Gould, back to his quote, he says, "First facts do not come to us as objective items seen in the same unambiguous way by all reasonable people. Theory, habit, prejudice, and culture all influence the facts we choose to observe and the way in which we perceive them." I keep drilling into you this quote because what I want to see is that we remember that, in that when we do projects and we hand in research, that our research and our writings, what we develop, reflect our personal biases and reflect our personal worldview and philosophy, which is harder to do. It's easier just to look up something and say, yeah, that sounds good, and then write it out and hand it in, but it most likely will not reflect your personal position. And that's what's happened with a number of students that have taken the other course, that they did well in the homework and just reciting what yes, 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 all the way down. And then they hand in homework that doesn't correspond at all to what they said they believed. And so this is where I want you to be coherent. I want you to develop your belief system, and I want your thinking and your acting to follow that system. Again, this is chapter 4, building our own philosophy. We're on session number 7, just ending session number 7 on critical thinking skills in science. We're Tim and Holly Nyquist. Thank you for being with me, for accompanying me in this session, and hope to see you in the next one.